Nation, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Mason Cable News, your leader in on-campus news broadcasts. Today is Wednesday, November 12th. I'm Ashley Hill.
And I'm Aaron M. Wilson, welcoming you inside our news studio.
Well, this past week was the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Wow, I actually remember when I took a trip to Germany my sophomore year of high school. We had actually visited the Berlin Wall, and I had actually seen quite a few images, and one was of Batman and the Joker.
Oh, that's really cool.
I know, it was awesome.
That must have been something to see.
Indeed.
History was also made today.
Right, a comet had actually, I'm sorry,
We landed a probe.
We landed a probe
on a comet. Yep. It's, 300 million miles away. That is monumental.
I would say so.
That's something to celebrate. Well, Veterans Day was this past Tuesday, but something else American was celebrated as well. The 12th annual Veterans Powwow was held at George Mason University. The Native American and Indigenous Alliance hosted this powwow here at Mason. This event is a social event in Indigenous culture. It combines dance and music. The event tours to multiple universities such as here and University of Maryland. According to the official Facebook page, Pagnia Yuge stated, "Attending a powwow is such a powerful experience. When you see generations participating in this event, it puts life into perspective." Tell us how you celebrated Veterans Day. Send in pictures of your veteran or pictures of you at the powwow using Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag GMU Veterans Day.
As following up from last week, there has been a winner declared in the Virginia Senate race. Voters made it out to the polls last Tuesday in the 2014 midterm elections with the opportunity to vote for Democrat Mark Warner, Republican Ed Gillespie, and Libertarian Robert Sarvis. The incumbent Mark Warner won 127 of the 133 cities and counties in 2008 to win him the Senate seat. But this year the scene was much different. With a vast section of the voting Republican, it left a close vote count that was too close to call. However, on Friday, Ed Gillespie conceded the race to Mark Warner, who received 49.2% of the votes compared to Gillespie's 48.4%. For more information on how George Mason voted, log on to masonvotes.gmu.edu.
From November 10th through the 13th is Love Week. Love Week is one of the biggest humanitarian projects here at Mason. Each year, Mason joins together to provide relief for a specific country. This year, it's Love Guatemala campaign. It'll work to solve their clean water problem. But how can you help? Buy a shirt for $20 at one of their events or in the JC from 10 to 12 every day this week. Every single penny will go towards buying water filters so Guatemala can have clean water. Events started on Monday, and on Tuesday there was a talent show in the Hub Ballroom. On Wednesday was the Water Walk Challenge. It was a relay event to walk water from Mason Pond to a filter station in North Plaza. And on Thursday, the week ends with Love Week celebration. Go enjoy Ben & Jerry's and hear a speaker from Gain at 8:30 in the Hub Ballroom.
The month of November is Diabetes Awareness Month. Every year, more than 15,000 children and 15,000 adults are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes nationwide. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that causes the pancreas to stop producing insulin, a hormone which is needed to produce energy for digested food. Diabetes Awareness Month is important because so many Americans are affected every day by this disease, and many organizations are working very hard to find a cure. You too can help by donating your time and money to many of these organizations such as the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation or the Joslin Diabetes Center.
As many of you know, Brad Edwards is the new athletic director here at George Mason University. Brad Edwards is a former football player that won a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins before he moved to the management of college athletics at University of South Carolina. His latest stop was at Jacksonville University, where he oversaw a huge revamp of the football program as well as their athletic facilities. With a huge football background, many Mason fans have questioned if it's time to bring the NCAA football to George Mason. Earlier in the year, Fourth Estate's Danny Gregory sat down with Brad Edwards to discuss where football fits.
So you come from a background from attending South Carolina and then working there for several years, where obviously football is a big priority at that program. From your experience with that coming to Mason, where do you see football at this school?
Right now it's not in our immediate future, if you will, and our goal or our vision is really right now has been spent on what we have currently, and principally basketball, and how do we put ourselves in a position to be and compete at the highest level in the country year in and year out in the sport of basketball, and then making sure all of our other sports are addressed to get them to the point where on a national basis that they're competing for national championships year in and year out. And so we want to be very careful that we don't dilute that effort, and that we're not chasing two dreams at the same time, and in fact you don't accomplish either one. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. Football is certainly a big conversation that's out there. We know at the very highest level what that can mean from a revenue perspective, from a national media perspective, and that can play a huge part in the growth of not just a department but an institution. But the cost of entry in that market is enormous. To go from 0 to 100, when you have the likes of some of the largest and most successful sports institutions that are making moves to invest even more in those programs. So right now, what's even complicating that process even more is what's happening at the highest levels of the NCAA with governance and some of the rules and those kinds of things. So it's all that's to say the world's gotten more complicated with that sport, and so we just our objective has been to focus on what we have right now.
He seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah, he actually does. I heard he was at a few of the games this past week.
He does. He shows up to a lot of the games, like the basketball games, soccer games.
Now, the soccer games are something to definitely show up to, and our basketball games, which are coming up soon.
Well, now football may not immediately be around the corner for George Mason, but with Brad Edwards now overseeing the athletic department, it's not completely out of the question.
This Thursday, November 13th, Mason Recreation will be hosting the World Record Knockout Basketball event at the Patriot Center. The current record stands at 629, and it was set by the Brooklyn Nets on October 26th. If you are a current Mason student or a member of Mason's faculty or staff, come out and help us try to break this record. The event is the precursor to the start of Mason's basketball season. Check-in starts at 6:30 p.m. and the event itself starts at 7:30 p.m.
I'll actually be there.
And so will I.
This is going to be so exciting. I hope we break it.
I hope so as well.
This past Saturday, the women's volleyball team hosted their final home game of the 2014 regular season against VCU. Before this game, the team and fans paid tribute to graduating seniors on the roster for senior night. The two seniors, Allison Farm and Steffi Matsushima, both had an impact in the game, with Farm recording an ace and Matsushima recording 15 digs and 2 service aces. For more information on the game and all of the other athletic events, make sure to stay tuned later in the broadcast for this week's sports report.
Now this upcoming Saturday at 1 o'clock, the George Mason's club football team will play in their final regular season game at home as they host Coppin State. The winner of this game will head to the Mid-Atlantic Conference Championship game next weekend. This game will be held at the RAC Field, but if you cannot make it, the game will be broadcasted live on Mason Cable Network Channel 231, online or on campus at masoncablenetwork.com/live.
And we'll be right back after a commercial break with your weekly weather forecast by Nick Stasiak, as well as the aforementioned sports report with Sydney Peterson.
Thinking of studying abroad? Consider spending a semester at Mason's new campus in Korea. Enjoy a unique experience where you will be taught by main campus faculty and will learn about one of the most important regions in the world. Students pay the same tuition as they do on main campus, and housing costs significantly less. Join the Office of Global Strategy each Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. in the Johnson Center Gold Room for an information session, or visit masonglobal.gmu.edu to learn more.
Welcome back to Mason Cable News. I'm Nick Stasiak with your weather. Conditions for tonight mainly clear with a low of 35 degrees, winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Are you going to the game on Friday? Men's team is playing Cornell at 7:30 p.m. in the Patriot Center. As we're all heading out over to the Patriot Center, mainly clear skies, a temperature of around 35 degrees. Now the low for the night is going to be 25 degrees. Shouldn't have to worry about that. We should be out of there by then. So let's go ahead and take a look at that 7-day forecast, and what everyone is wondering, is it going to snow? Is snow in the forecast? Well, Thursday night is actually going to be a little too warm for snow. We're looking at mainly just rainy conditions. The low will be around 30 degrees. I expect it to be around 33 to 35 degrees for most of the night. Not quite cold enough for snow, so sorry about that. But Friday and Saturday look really nice, temperatures between 40 and 45 degrees. And then on Sunday, we get another shot at snow. This time, still looking at rain. There's a slight chance of snow. Mainly areas west of the metropolitan area will get snow. Temperatures are slightly colder there. Here we're just looking at mainly rainy conditions. That'll move out of the area. High pressure will move back in for Tuesday and Wednesday. Looking at sunny skies around 40 degrees. And we'll end our week with 35 degrees, so getting cold again. And that's our 7-day forecast. So let's take it on over to Sydney with our sports.
Hello, and welcome to the Mason Sports Report. I am your host, Sydney Peterson. After a long and successful season, the men's soccer team concluded their regular season with a tie of 1-1 against LaSalle. LaSalle was in the lead of a 1-0 score until Matt Tucker made his second goal of the season in the 31st minute of the game. Tomorrow, the team will be traveling to Richmond, Virginia to play their first round of the Atlantic 10 tournament. The tournament will be held from the 13th through the 17th. For their first game, the number 4 ranked Patriots will take on Davidson, who are ranked number 5 in the conference, at 2 o'clock. Where the winner will advance to the semifinals on Friday and then the championship game on Sunday. Unfortunately, the women's volleyball team lost to VCU on senior night with a final score of 3-0. The team now has 2 upcoming away matches. Their first one will be this Friday at Rhode Island, then they will travel Sunday to play at Fordham. This past weekend, the wrestling team defeated Maryland with a final score of 17-16. Mason's very own Jake Kettler won the final match of the day, giving Mason a tied score with Maryland of 16-16. However, Mason outscored Maryland 59-55 in the duel, leading Mason to the 17-16 victory final score. Next, the wrestling team will take on the Navy Classic on Saturday, November 22nd. Well, Mason Nation, our basketball countdown is almost over, as this Friday is our season openers. The women's basketball team will play against Virginia Tech at 5 p.m. The men's basketball team will play against Cornell at 7:30. Both games will be held at the Patriot Center, and tickets are free for Mason students if they bring their student ID. So put on your gold and green and come out and join the Mason Nation, because this is an exciting event of the year that you don't want to miss. Well, that's all I have for you today, Mason. I hope to see you at the game on Friday, and we'll be right back after a commercial break.
and welcome back to Mason Cable News. Before we head to our tweets of the day, we would like to remind you about our live news feed on Twitter. If you see or know any newsworthy event going on pertaining to George Mason, report it with hashtag MCNews.
And now for our tweets of the day.
For our first tweet of the day, it's from GMU SCA. On this day in 1964, the GMU Fairfax campus was officially dedicated and Charles Fenwick presided over the dedication. Wow.
I'm actually impressed.
1964.
That's a long time ago.
It is.
I remember we had talked about the year 1964 in our 8-push classes long ago.
GMU has been around for a long time. Not longer than most campuses,
But it's moderately new.
and we're getting there.
We're going to be cool. Our second tweet of the day is from Nathan Pittman 95. Gold Rush is this Friday. Make sure to get your free t-shirt at the George Mason statue at 3:30. Hashtag GMU.
We all love our free t-shirts.
I would go for anything free on this campus at this
yes,
point.
college students, we mooch off everyone. Well, this week we want you to send us your tweets about basketball season opener. Use hashtag MasonTipOff2014. Well, that's all we have for you for this edition of Mason Cable News. We hope you have a fantastic week and look forward to seeing all of you next Wednesday. I'm Ashley Hill.
And I'm Aaron M. Wilson. Have a good night, Mason Nation.